Hello everyone, welcome you back in my geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we are going to start with another new topic from the chapter Mineral and Power Resources of class 8. In the earlier videos we have already discussed about the power resources and its type. We have also discussed about the conventional sources of energy as a type of power resource, where we get to know about the firewood, about the fossil fuel, where we came to know about coal, natural gas, petroleum and hydropower. We also came to know about the advantages and disadvantages of the conventional sources of energy. Now, what do you mean by conventional sources of energy? Conventional sources of energy are described as those sources of energy which have been in use since a long time. Most of the conventional sources of energy are non-renewable in nature. That means once they are depleted, it will take millions of years to form. Like we have read about the fossil fuel, which is a non-conventional source of energy which has formed from the remains of dead plants and animals. Now, what we can see that with the advancement of technology, our dependency on the power resources, on the conventional sources of energy are increasing. There is a sharp increase in the consumption of the fossil fuels, which is leading to their depletion at an alarming rate. As we know that these resources are non-renewable, that means if the present rate at which the resources are consumed, if it goes on, then a time will come that the resources will be no more available for the future generation. It will be depleted. If we talk about the present scenario, we can see that there is potential shortage of oil and gas. Why? Due to rise in price and due to over exploration of these resources, which is raising uncertainties about security of energy supply in future. Also, we must remember that the conventional sources of energy cause pollution. When we burn the fossil fuels, it creates a lot of pollution in the atmosphere. So it is very important to conserve the fossil fuels as they are not available in abundance. They are non-renewable, and once depleted, it will take millions of years to form again. And we are not only thinking about our present generation, but we also need about the sources of energy supply for our future generation. So we also need to think about alternatives which can be used in place of conventional sources of energy. And here comes the topic of non-conventional sources of energy. So today in this video we will know about the non-conventional sources of energy. We will know about the solar energy, wind energy and nuclear energy, which are the non-conventional sources of energy. So what are non-conventional sources of energy? The non-conventional sources of energy are described as the sources of energy which are recently developed and still developing. These are the sources of energy which are obtained from solar energy, from wind, from tidal, biomass, nuclear and geothermal energy. These sources of energy are renewable. That means once depleted, they can be renewed back. Why? Because they are available in abundance. So as they are available in abundance, so they can be renewed. So we call it as renewable sources of energy. Now, as these sources of energy are comparatively new, they are recently formed, so they are not widely used at large scale. So as because the sources of energy are comparatively new, so they are not frequently or widely used at large scale. These sources of energy are cheaper than the conventional sources of energy. The non-conventional sources of energy do not cause pollution. So we can say that they are environmental friendly and ecologically safe. We obtain the non-conventional source of energy from solar, from wind, from biomass, from nuclear, from tidal energy, and also from geothermal energy. So what are non-conventional sources of energy? Non-conventional sources of energy are described as the sources of energy which are recently developed and still developing. Energy obtained from solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, biomass, nuclear energy, geothermal energy, they are all referred as non-conventional sources of energy. These sources of energy are renewable in nature as they are available in abundance. This source of energy are comparatively new, so they are not frequently or widely used at large scale. They are cheaper than conventional source of energy and they do not cause pollution, so they can be called environmental friendly and ecologically safe. Now let us know about the first non-conventional sources of energy, that is solar energy. Now let us know about solar energy. Now what do you mean by solar energy? Energy produced through the sunlight is called solar energy. So here is the sunlight. So the energy which is produced by trapping the sunlight is referred as the solar energy. Now how we get the solar energy? We obtain the solar energy by trapping the sunlight and we use this in solar cells which produce electricity. So this is a diagram of solar panel. So we can see here that the solar cells are joined in solar panels to produce energy which can be used for lighting and heating purposes. So what we have learned, that solar energy is trapped from the sun and used in solar cells, and these cells are joined in solar panels to produce energy to generate power which can be used for heating and lighting purposes. Now what are the uses of solar energy? Solar energy are used in solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers, even for community lighting and traffic signals. Even there were solar battery which were used in running the three-wheelers, but now these are not widely used. Now let us know which are the countries that are benefited by utilizing solar energy. A lot of tropical countries means the countries which are blessed with abundant sunshine. So these are the countries which are blessed with abundant sunshine for a longer period of time. These countries like India are benefited by utilizing solar energy. So what is solar energy? The energy which is produced through the sunlight is called solar energy, and we trap the energy from the sun and use in solar cells which are joined in solar panels to generate power which are used for heating and lighting purposes. Now let us know about the advantages and disadvantages of solar energy. Now let us know about the advantages and disadvantages of solar energy. The advantages of solar energy are that solar energy are inexhaustible, or we can say that they are renewable sources of energy. The solar energy are non-polluting. They do not cause any pollution in the environment. Now coming to the disadvantages, solar energy is quite expensive in setup. So when we set up the solar panels, it is quite expensive. The second disadvantage of solar energy says that it is diffuse source, so it gets wasted. Now we know that due to absorption reflection by the particles in the Earth's atmosphere. A large amount of solar energy is absorbed and reflected back, and only a small amount of solar energy reaches the Earth's surface. So we can say that this source of energy is diffused, and so they get wasted. So much amount of energy is wasted. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of solar energy. Now let us know about the next conventional source of energy, that is wind energy. Now let us know about the wind energy. Now the wind energy is another inexhaustible source of energy. Now how do we obtain wind energy? We obtain wind energy by harnessing wind power. So the energy that is produced by harnessing wind power is referred as wind energy. So you can see here we have the diagram of windmill. Now what happens with the windmill, or how the windmill produce electricity? Now when wind blows in a high speed, it rotates the windmills. You can see the blades of the windmill. So when the winds blow at high speed, it rotates the windmill. Now this is connected to a generator, and this generator produces electricity. So the blades of the windmill rotates with the high speed of the wind, which is connected to a generator, and this produces electricity. And this is how wind energy is produced. In wind farms, we will see that there are clusters of windmills which are found in coastal areas or in mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. So mostly where we can find the wind farms where such clusters of windmills are located, they are located in coastal areas, because we know that in the coastal areas the wind blows at a very faster speed, and in mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. From a long time, the windmills produce energy by harnessing wind power and are used for grinding grains, lifting water. Even the windmills are used for operating water pumps used for irrigation purpose. Now let us know that in the world where we can find the wind farms. They are found in Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, UK, USA, Spain. India occupies the second position in wind power generation. So what we learned about the wind energy, that the energy that is produced by harnessing wind power is referred as the wind energy. How the wind energy is produced? Here we can see the diagram of the windmill. When the wind blows at high speed, it rotates the windmill, and the windmill is connected to a generator, and the generator produces the electricity, and they are used for many purposes, like for grinding grains, for lifting water, for operating water pumps which can be used for irrigation purpose. And wind energy are the inexhaustible sources of energy. Now let us know about the advantages and disadvantages of wind energy. Now let us know about the advantages and disadvantages of wind energy. Now coming to the advantages of wind energy is non-polluting energy, it is safe and clean, and it is cost effective after setup. So initially there is a cost when we set up the windmills, but after the setup it is cost effective. Now coming to the disadvantages, it causes noise disturbance. As we can see that in wind farms there are cluster of windmills, so when all of them start rotating together, they cause noise disturbance. They are harmful to birds. When the blades of the windmills rotate due to the faster movement of the wind, it can cause harm to birds. That's why we say it is harmful to birds. Unreliable wind strength. We cannot predict that how much faster the speed of the wind will be. So we can say that it is unreliable. We cannot rely on the speed of the wind. So that is why we are saying this unreliable wind strength, which is a major disadvantage of the wind energy. Now let us know about the next conventional source of energy, that is nuclear energy. Now let us know about the next conventional source of energy, that is nuclear energy. Now nuclear energy is produced from the nuclei of the atoms. Now what happened? The radioactive elements uranium and thorium, they undergoes nuclear fission in nuclear reactors. You can see here, this is a diagram of nuclear power plant. So what happens here? The radioactive elements uranium and thorium, they undergoes nuclear fission in the nuclear reactor. Nuclear fission means here the atom splits into smaller atoms to produce heat. Now the radioactive elements uranium and thorium, after undergoing nuclear fission in the nuclear reactors, they produce heat which is used to make steam. Now the steam, they run the turbine which is connected to a generator, and the generator produce the electricity. So radioactive elements like uranium and thorium undergoes nuclear fission in nuclear reactors, produces power used to generate electricity. Now which are the greatest producer of nuclear energy? They are USA and Europe. In India, large deposits of uranium are found in Rajasthan and Jharkhand, and thorium are found in large deposits, and thorium is found in large quantities in the monazite sands of Kerala. In India, there are several nuclear power stations like the Kalapakkam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Narora in Uttar Pradesh, Rana Pratap Sagar in Rajasthan. So what we learned? We learned about the nuclear energy which is produced from the nuclei of the atoms, where the radioactive elements, they undergoes a nuclear fission in nuclear reactors which produce heat, and that heat is used to make steam. The steam run the turbine which is connected to a generator, and it produces power which generate electricity. And the greatest producer of nuclear energy are USA and Europe. And the deposits of uranium are found in Rajasthan and Jharkhand, and thorium in large amount in monazite sands of Kerala. Now let us know the advantages and disadvantages of nuclear energy. Now let us know about the advantages and disadvantages of nuclear energy. Now coming to the advantages, nuclear energy emits a large amount of energy which is utilized to generate electricity at a large amount. It is quite cheap to run. Coming to the disadvantages, there is possibility of accidents, as we know that the radioactive elements, they undergo nuclear fission in the nuclear reactor. So here, due to difference in temperature, it can cause explosion. Even if anybody wants to misuse the nuclear power, it can cause disastrous effect on the human life. Nuclear energy is expensive. It is cheap to run, but it is expensive to set up the nuclear power plant. Nuclear energy generates radioactive waste which are hazardous, toxic, and they need to be safely handled. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of nuclear energy. So I hope all of you understood that what we have learned in today's video. Today in this video we have learned about the non-conventional sources of energy. We have learned about 3 non-conventional sources of energy along with the advantages and disadvantages. They are number 1 solar energy, number 2 wind energy, and number 3 nuclear energy. I hope everybody understood it very well. Now what you will do, you will read your books thoroughly, and also you will follow the PDF that has been already provided in the description box, which will help in better understanding of the chapter. If you have any problem or any suggestion, you can comment in the description box given below. If you like my video, do share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit the like button. If you have not subscribed my channel yet, do subscribe my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get further notification of my upcoming videos. Stay tuned. I will be back soon with the next part of the topic, the non-conventional sources of energy, where we will discuss the geothermal energy, the tidal energy, and the biogas. Until then, stay safe, take care, and stay at your home. Thank you.